كسودانيين جنوبيين بنستحق عشان نعيش بالسلام، نستحمل بعض ونصالح خلافاتنا ونعيش بالسلام. ظهر رسالة تسامح والتعايش السلمي بيجيك من اي راديو، عينك في جنوب السودان.
Welcome to the Sundown Show. On this show, we bring you the movers and shakers of South Sudan and the world over. We engage in debates and discussions that unearth the stories behind the news. And we have our light moments too by chit-chatting about issues that affect our day-to-day life. You stay right here on the Sundown. Join in and be part of the show on iRadio, your eye on South Sudan. The Sundown, for the news, views, opinion, debates and discussions. Listen to who is who talking about issues that affect our country and continent. Only on the Sundown, your eye on South Sudan.
Hello and welcome to the Sundown Show now radio with me, Madrama James. Today is Thursday, the 10th of July 2025. This program comes to you Monday to Friday from 4 to 6 p.m. for comprehensive look at the daily events, the latest information, in-depth analysis, exclusive interviews and exciting surprises. To be part of the show, call us on 0911-022-986 and 986, and for us a text message on 0913-986 986. If you can't access the radio, we are also on that Facebook, X, YouTube, and more. You can also stream this broadcast live by logging to that our website at www.iradio.org. Coming up. The government has confirmed that 8 individuals deported to that Juba arrived on July 5th and were accepted by authorities without explaining more about their names, legal status, and where they are kept.
On the 5th of July 2025, 8 individuals, including one South Sudanese, arrived at Juba International Airport following standard deportation procedures undertaken by the government of the United States of America.
Well, we shall listen to the full statement of the spokesperson of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Ambassador Apuk Ayul. However, a human rights advocate has criticized a lack of transparency in deportation of convicted individuals to South Sudan. Well, we'll listen to Advocate Geoffrey Victor, who raised a concern about a legal and constitutional status following the government's confirmation that 8 individuals, including one South Sudanese national, was deported right here. Later also in the second hour, as South Sudan commemorated 14 years of independence, an educator in Juba has raised a concern over the deteriorating state of education in the country, citing economic hardship, drug abuse among learners, and unequal access to academic opportunity right here.
This is a new scenario and a new phenomenon in our system, in the history of South Sudan. This is a quite unique and something that is new in our society, in our legal system and the criminal justice system of our country. Something new.
This is stories and more coming to you in today's edition of the Sundown Show with me, Madrama James.
Itabasma le radio Hagiga, I radio, and Takum fi Junub Sudan.
Tonight, let's start this show with a heavy downpour here in Juba. And we start with a developing story that has raised many questions. It's about 8 people who were deported from the United States and brought to South Sudan last week. The government confirmed that these people arrived in Juba on July 5th and were accepted by national authorities, but the government did not say much about it. We still don't know who these people are, what are their legal status is, or where they are being kept. This comes after civil society activist Edmond Yakani asked the government to be more open and clear about the issue. Yakani said only one of the 8 is South Sudanese and others are believed to be from Asia and South America. He said keeping quiet or silent could lead to rumors and public confusion. Then on Tuesday, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs released an official statement to confirm the arrival of the 8 people, saying they were received through a proper channel and are now under the care of the authorities in Juba. But again, no names were mentioned, and we don't know where they are being held up to now. The Foreign Affairs spokesperson, Ambassador Apukayul Mayan, said that the government is committed to protecting its people following the law. Let's hear part of what Ambassador Apuk told the media in this following speech.
Official statement on the arrival of third country nationals and South Sudanese deported from the United States of America to South Sudan. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation wishes to provide the following statement regarding the recent arrival of third country nationals and 1 South Sudanese deported from the United States of America to South Sudan. On the 5th of July 2025, 8 individuals, including 1 South Sudanese, arrived at Juba International Airport following standard deportation procedures undertaken by the government of the United States of America. In line with its sovereign responsibilities and established procedures, the government of the Republic of South Sudan received these individuals through the appropriate national institutions. They are currently in Juba under the care of the relevant authorities who are screening them and ensuring their safety and well-being in accordance with South Sudanese laws and applicable international norms and practices. This development comes in the context of ongoing bilateral engagement between the Republic of South Sudan and the United States of America. As part of a broader framework of cooperation, both countries continue to engage constructively and with good faith on a range of matters, including political, economic, investment, security, humanitarian, and consular-related issues, among others. This engagement aims at normalizing relations, deepening bilateral cooperation, and addressing issues of mutual concern and interest. The government of South Sudan recalls with appreciation the long-standing support extended by the United States during the country's struggle for self-determination, the 2011 referendum, and our post-independence development. In the spirit of mutual respect, support, understanding, and solidarity, South Sudan responded positively to a request from the U.S. authorities as a gesture of goodwill, humanitarian cooperation, and commitment to mutual interest. This careful and well-studied decision reflects the Republic of South Sudan's enduring commitment to the principles of international cooperation and humanitarian responsibility. It also acknowledges the shared historical, political, and liberation linkages between South Sudan and the countries of origin of some of the deportees. It is important to underscore that the government of South Sudan maintains a strong commitment to the dignity and protection of its peoples and sovereign territorial integrity. This includes its nationals returning under any circumstances, as well as persons with recognized links to South Sudan. In conclusion, the government of South Sudan reiterates its full and strong commitment to the fundamental reality and fact that its highest obligation and responsibility remains to the beloved people of South Sudan. It will continue to uphold national interest, adhere to the rule of law, international obligations, and norms. The government of the Republic of South Sudan will continue to pursue partnerships that support peace, development, mutual benefit, and effective international cooperation. End of statement.
Foreign Affairs spokesperson Ambassador Apuk Ayul Mayen. While this was the first official word from the government, many South Sudanese are still worried about these deportations. Raises more questions than answers. Why the silent? Why are their names and details being kept secret? One of those voices is human rights advocate Godfrey Victor, who said the move raises a serious legal and constitutional concern. In an exclusive interview with iRadio Sobacho Kushagawa earlier today, Advocate Godfrey described the deportation as, quote, a new and troubling phenomenon in South Sudan legal and diplomatic landscape. Let's now listen to part of that conversation in this following interview.
First of all, the idea, the preliminary objectives of the criminal justice system is first of all reformatory, okay? When somebody is convicted, is sent for reformatory. After the reformatory, the person is reintegrated back into his society, where he comes from. It is now very complex that some nationals who are not South Sudanese, the offenses, some of the offenses they committed in the country, like for instance in US, some of those offenses are also, some of it are within our penal code. And some of these offenses prescribe a specific term sentence. After the completion of the sentence, they are supposed to be integrated back into their society. But now, where are you going to reintegrate them in the society, first of all? Number two, any arrangement, any diplomatic arrangement that is not in conformity with the law is a violation of the law. Diplomatic relationship, diplomatic arrangement, the diplomatic action has to be in line with the law and the constitution of a country. It is very shocking that we see such move, that a move that is not clear to the nationals of this country and even not clear to the system itself. So it is very unfortunate that we see it that South Sudan has surrendered to the pressure, to the U.S. pressure, but the U.S. is trying to remove illegal obligations from its head by sending these people to a sub-country like South Sudan. First of all, on the human rights perspective, these people are supposed to be integrated in their society. Now you bring them to a foreign country whereby they don't have any support, they don't have even relatives here, they don't have even family here, they don't have even house here. Okay? Mm-hmm. Who will provide for them support? If the government of US is going to give them support that they needed for integration into their integration, or the government of South Sudan is going to continue providing them the support. That's one issue. The second issue, some of those people have already served their terms of sentence. Is South Sudan going to free them, or they are going to still continue serving sentence in our jail?
Now, are there any legal frameworks or international agreements guiding the reception and treatment of deportees in South Sudan?
Punishing them in USA, coming and punishing them again in South Sudan here is an issue. Mm-hmm. So there are many legal questions that does not have its answers, but they just forced it the way they are forcing it. This is completely wrong. Number two, our society is already a breakout society. You bring convicts that are convicted for serious crime in South Sudan. And you know our situation here. Even the mayor criminals we have here, like the gangs, the niggers, are already defeating us. And then again, you bring up people who are convicted for oil profile criminals, and you bring them to South Sudan. What do you expect to happen in the future?
Yes, and now also advocates maybe wanted also to have it like this. Does the government have any responsibility to communicate with the victims or affected people regarding their return of this individual convicted of serious crimes?
Well, this is a new scenario and a new phenomenon in our system, in the history of South Sudan. This is a quite unique and something that is new in our society, in our legal system and the criminal justice system of our country, something new. But in all cases, under the provisions of criminal justice system, the constitutions, the penal code of South Sudan, the government is under duty to inform the relative, to inform the people under their custody, and to inform their relatives that your person is under our custody. That is their right, to inform them, to inform the relatives, so that the relatives can be in position to provide the necessary needs. For instance, they need to hire a lawyer. The person who is already under their custody cannot have the financial support, cannot move. It's only the family that can move. It's the family that can engage a lawyer to provide for their necessary service. They should not keep it secret. That is violation. So once they keep it secret, not informing the relative, not informing the public, not informing the convict also of their legal rights, that is completely in violations of the right of these convict persons or the right of people under their detention. The right to inform is a right that should have started from US. Until the point where here all the government has got the responsibility to inform, but not to keep silent. As I say, this is a new phenomenon in the history of South Sudan, whereby citizens of other countries are being deported into our country. And our country now need to amend its migration law. They need to amend their law to incorporate. Unless those people are refugees, they are not refugees. They are not refugees. They don't qualify to be deported in South Sudan. But as I said, diplomatic relationship must confirm. You cannot violate your laws in order to accommodate diplomatic pressure or diplomatic law. That is unacceptable. Any diplomatic relationship must be in line with your law of your country, with the constitution of their country, and also the best practice of your country. But now, these people now we are talking about, they stand psychologically. You cannot punish people more than the punishment they are going through. First of all, they're in a foreign land. Secondly, they don't know where to start from. They even don't know where they are.
Yes.
So these are challenges.
Yes, and also this one will bring me to the other questions, because the statement issued by South Sudan Minister of Foreign Affairs, they did not disclose the name of those individuals and where that they will be kept or where they are going to take them. So from your legal point, what does it mean? Like they are not informing who are those people? They are talking about 8, but they do not reveal their names like the US did. And also did not say where they're going to keep them. Whether do we have facilities also to keep them here?
As I said from the beginning, this is a new phenomenon, and this phenomenon must comply to the law. You cannot take them anywhere other than taking them to prison, the central prison. Those people are not soldiers, they are civilians. Once they are convicted, sentenced, any person deported has to be taken to the prison to serve his term of sentence in prison. Now, those people are supposed to be taken to Juba Central Prison because that's where they are supposed to serve their sentence. But any other place where that these people are taken to other than prison, formal prison, that is recognized by a country under the criminal procedures, under the penal code as a prison, then that is completely wrong. They must be sent to prison. So this is anybody deported until they finish the term of sentence prescribed by the law then they should be released free. So this is the big question we are talking about here, because you are not going to sentence these people for the life imprisonment. You are not going to send them for the life that they are going to remain in prison. No. According to our penal code, once you commit such an offense, you have a prescription of 1 year, 2 years jail sentence. Once they finish that 2 jail sentence, they must be released as free people. That's the issue here. Number two is that I personally have been contacted by the family of some of these people. They are even in dilemma. They are worried. Leave alone the convict here alone is worried. Even the family are already facing a lot of pain down home there, because they don't know where their son has been taken, where they are going. So keeping those things confidential raises alarm. They should clearly, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, together with the Director of Migration, the Interior, they should come out clearly and tell the public where exactly these people are, so that their family can be relieved from the psychological pain that they are going through. And number two, in the coming days, we are going to write to the Minister of Foreign Affairs, we are going to write to the Minister of Interior, Director of Immigration, to let us know where these people are, because we are going to start providing for them legal aid. As they requested for legal aid intervention, we are going to do an intervention on their behalf.
And before we wind up, what would you advise the government to do in terms of communication and transparency about these deportees to maintain public trust?
Our government needs to be very vigilant, very vigilant. Should anything happen to these people here that the public is not aware of what is happening, it will be again a diplomatic rose, not between the U.S. U.S. has already removed the rope from its neck and threw the rope on the neck of our government. Now, our government is taking a burden, unnecessary burden, that it should have not taken at all. Our government is facing challenges that it is not supposed to face in terms of the nationals that are not his nationals. Now, the government should be clearly informing the public, informing the family, informing the convicts whereabouts of these people, their health status, their conditions, and their well-being, their welfare, well-being. They should inform the people, because if anything happens to these people, even the point of exit of these people from South Sudan, the government is supposed to be aware of, because should anything happen to them here, the government of South Sudan will be held responsible. Not the government of U.S., because U.S. has already removed the rope from its neck. Not the burden of South Sudan. So our government should act in a manner that is very careful, that is very humane, and that is very responsible towards the lives of these people. They have a primary responsibility to protect these people, to provide for their needs, and also to provide for the legal assistance they require, like any other nationals of this country.
And lastly, in your view, does this move reflect a border cooperation between South Sudan and U.S., or it is a pressure, or could be it have been influenced by other factors?
Well, this is the contrary. You know, when you have when you have a border cooperation with another country, the idea is to combat, to fight, trans-border criminal activity. But now we are looking at it here. Some people who have committed a crime somewhere already under the jurisdiction of another country is being deported in your country. That is not. What is happening is that there is, up to now, none of us know what exactly the U.S. and our government signed in terms of these diplomatic relationship arrangement for deporting convicts from U.S. to South Sudan. So the question we should ask ourselves, is U.S. ready to accept our convicts that are convicted here for serious crimes before independence? They are still serving jail sentence to U.S. If this is an arrangement of exchange of convicts, then U.S. should be also ready to accept our convicts who are congesting in our prison here to be deported to U.S. It should not be one-way traffic. So the question here, we don't know what is exactly the arrangement. We should be meant to know what is the arrangement under the table, under the curtain between the two countries. So that the legal responsibility, the legal duty of each citizen involved in these transactions are protected and cared for. Otherwise, it is a question of whether we have undermined our human rights, we undermined our constitutions, we undermined our laws for the sake of international relationships, or we have a duty to confirm international relationship arrangement with any other country in compliance with our constitution and our law. Yeah. We have that duty. As a country, we have the duty to act in compliance with our constitution and our laws, not to act contrary. We have the primary responsibility to defend our constitution, including the rights of whoever is within our country. So we are here to see this arrangement. As I said, U.S. should also, we are crying our prison is too congested, and you are bringing people to a congested prison. It's something that beats an understanding of a reasonable man. So they should also make it clear to us in the coming days to see that we are also deporting nationals, foreigners who are within our prison to U.S. So we should know that there is an arrangement of exchange of convicts between these two countries, but shouldn't be one-way traffic.
Yes, you heard it all from that Gary Victor, who is a human rights advocate, talking to that iRadio's Obacho Kush Shagawa. With that, dear listener, what's your thought on the arrival of that the third country convict to that South Sudan? Do you consider the government should have disclosed their identities and details of that deportees to the public? Why and why not? Share your thought with us on 0911-22986-986. And looking at also the twist of events, South Sudan is also battling with maybe, let's say, the U.S. and South Sudan diplomatic relationship. Is the exchange of these convicts will also help improve our relationship with that at the U.S. أنا مستمعين ووزارة خارجية بقول عدد بتاع 8 ناس جيبومون من US ونازل ختمون مجرمين جيبومون في يوم 5 شهر 7 في داخل الجنوب السوداني. ففي ده بذبقات وديتا بقول شنو، لكن الأخاب ديتا بيعرف نازل أسامي بتومون واسي خزينومون وين وبعد في شنو ما وريباردو له مجتمع تابو مانا شنو من حكومة. iRadio. أيوة. Welcome.
Madrama, sometimes there are things that we don't even understand the citizen. So some of us are still now confused. What does it mean? A criminal that is arrested in another country, and the criminal is from other country, he is to be deported to another country. So until now, as the activists have said, we also need a clarification from Minister of Foreign Affairs, so that South Sudanese citizens are educated on this properly. Why? Because maybe it's international policy or international kind of thing that happening. I can't know. And you cannot build a bilateral relationships on criminals, on human beings. That the U.S. will be arresting criminals in the U.S. and deport them to South Sudan. So that South Sudan is seeking friendship with the U.S. I can understand this. And actually, you should remain full in your own house instead of linking to a rich man's house and allow the rich man to humiliate you, bully you on his own wealth. I think this is bullshit. What happened is actually unfortunate because this is a bully, is humiliation to our country where our forefathers fought for 21 years. Blood has been shedded. We struggled since 1956. South Sudanese fought for the self-determination. We got our country. It was not just given. It was through bloodshed. Life had been lost. Until now, we are still a poor people. But we were praying that as we got our independence, we are struggling to get peace, and when we get peace, we build our own nation on little resources we have. But we cannot imagine that our government become such a weak direction that they allowed bully from U.S. Nothing we can gain, even if we can become. U.S. is a country of interest. And U.S. will never give you good things, at least otherwise they got what they want from you. This is a U.S. politics, and I don't know why we don't understand this. So America will not say that South Sudan is a good friend unless otherwise they get 80% of this interest in South Sudan. If you are not giving them, they will never, ever help. So we should not risk ourselves and our diplomacy of U.S. self-centered diplomacy.
Now, the concern is the 8 individuals are already in the country. So what do you really suggest should be the next step taken by the government?
Actually, the big point is this. That's why first thing we have to do, like what I'm doing, was we are complaining. But actually, are already in the country. We want the government to explain why should they accept this criminal. They are not South Sudanese criminal. Even
Dianya, are you there?
They left South Sudan when they are not criminal. But they become criminal in U.S. Why do you want to bring them? Maybe it is your own way of making laws, or your country have a way of turning criminals. Those people become criminal. So you have to deal with them according to your law. So our government must come clearly and tell the citizen why should these people be here. As one, another thing is that these criminals must remain in jail. As long as they have been brought out from jail, no need of making them move outside. Even government, you don't know, because U.S. are so fishy in security. Government, the current regime, if they are not careful, maybe these are the spices that are sent actually to Indians. It might be spies, U.S. is spies, because U.S. can do anything in security to deal with you. So I'm urging His Excellency President with his security to let these people remain in jail. Let them not come out. Otherwise, we are going to regret 100%. 100 years we will regret this criminal. These 8 people, I will not trust them. Let them remain in jail. Even if they are to be killed, our government have to contact the countries of these people. They have to contract the foreign affairs of the countries of these people to ask them. If they don't want these people, South Sudan have to deal with them, because as long as the U.S. doesn't want them. But you cannot send criminals and bring them to South Sudan and say, you South Sudan protect them for you. That will not happen. We need a clear clarification in this. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dian Deng. Let's keep it here for the interest of time. Like Dian said it clearly, out of the 8 individuals, it's only one who is believed to be a South Sudanese. And some of these are from Asia, and that's South America, according to the origin. And the crime they committed was not here in South Sudan. So the question is, why are they being, deported here? And at the same time, worse still, currently, their whereabouts, their names are not really made public, and that's why Dian Deng is saying the government should come clearly to clear all these rumors that are really circulating on social media. And if at all they are criminals, these people should remain in jail and serve their jail term in the cell. What's your take? Hi, Radio. Hi, Radio.
Hello. What I want to tell you is this,
Manu?
I'm John from Jebel here.
Yes, John from Jebel. Welcome.
Let me ask you one question.
Go ahead.
If you are now processing your document from Congo through America, and then you will be defined there that you are South Sudanese. You are not the Congolese. Can you be deported back to South Sudan, or you will be deported back to the Congo? Which is, you have all your documents, they are protect the name of the Congo. Now you cannot blame America. You cannot blame South Sudanese government. This blame should return back to the particular unit, which is called migration. Migration should be the one to blame. So that cannot be given any nationality or passport migration to foreigners. It is not for the government, and it is not for the American people.
Now, John, there's one thing. The issue of that's Kintu, Makula Kintu was different, but these are 8 individuals that arrived on 5th of July. They don't possess really that's our document here. You see, they committed their crime in the U.S., and at the end of the day, they are deported to that South Sudan, and the reasons are not really made clear. Are you there? All right. Akuna John Bugul Hagwobes bil lomu wala mushkila de le nasal gad buodi juazat leta buodi juaza le zola la ma junubi na mushkila bita dimunu makula kintu de kan mushkila altani barao lekinta tamania nasal jibu fi yom al khamsa del wale indu juaza bita junuba Sudan wale umon junubin zatu galmin tamenia de bes wahidi afiu junubi wa le umon jibu fi junuba Sudan umon begeni ni fathar godurshunu wa umon amulu yatunon mashakilu kutumon wena sami bitomon munu sabab alzatu jimon fi junuba Sudan shunu de haja la ma wadi usara kharijia kaman bardu ma wai lenas faita bamana shunu Hi Radio. Yes. I'm okay. How are you?
Yeah, we have connected with Tong Alwada.
Welcome, Tong.
Tong Alwada. Yeah, when we come in the realistic or in the reality, you know, we South Sudanese now will become a garbage county or a rubbish county. Why? What happened last week or in the same week is not in the law. South Sudan is a land of how God created us, and we are an independent country in whom we know what we are doing. Okay, it's just for us. Okay, if the government of US know what is going on, they should not supposed to do what is not in law. Okay, South Sudanese, they are there in America, and if the South Sudanese citizen has done something wrong, he could or he has right to be deported to his own or her own country. One. Secondly, also those criminals, what they did is different from other countries. Like we South Sudanese, the crime those people done is different from the crime of South Sudanese. What I try to say here, it is because we have lack of relationship. For a relationship, or let me say diplomatic relationship between us and US are weak. If not, then that one should have not happened. Because government must supposed strong firm in order to let these people go to their country. Otherwise, they must be jailed and they must be convicted until the right has to be known. And then message to go back to the Trump. President Trump, you please, what you have done to this nation is innocent. But you are those who have problems. What happened? What have you bring the criminal from another country to South Sudan? For what? And because of what? The answer and question must be answerable according to what they do. Thank you, Madhuri.
Thank you for sharing your thought with us. According to that thought, these individuals should be really put in prison until that's further notice. Otherwise, to him, it's really undermining our sovereignty. Let's hear from this iRadio. iRadio?
Madrama Jimmy.
Yes.
كيف تمام؟
Mawatal.
معك أستاذ مجويان.
Marhaba Ustaz.
أنا بتكلم لتنغالوت بتكلم لك في الاستديو. Happy Independence.
Same to you.
أنا بتفق مع توم لأنه التمثيل الدبلوماسي بتاع جنوب السودان هناك في United States is very weak. لأنه الناس الباينة يا مدرمة جي مثل المشكلة إنه مش أنت بتعرف إنجليزي كويس ولا ولدوك في أمريكا ولا أنت قاعد زمن طويل أنت جود فرنانديشن ما يقدر كده. المشكلة إنه أنت بتعرف دبلوماسي بتاع خارج دبلوماسي ده مهم جدا. علاقة دولية ده مهم جدا. يعني أنت لما يعيروك ممثل بتاع دولة ممثل ده ما ساكن. معناه أنت بتعزز إيمج بتاع بلد بتاع الناس في دول تانيين البلد دول موجود فوق. هاو كم مجرمين يا جنوبيين إذا كانوا جنوبيين بنقول واكم لأن الناس بتاعنا عيال بتاعنا إذا مجرمين بتاع جنوبيين هذا بيجيبوه يس البلد بتاعهم كان يجيبوه في الجنوب لكن الناس أجانب they are not South Sudanese. How come the criminal بتاع دول تاني إنت بتعملوا deportation لبلد تاني ده معناه جنوب السودان في وجه بتاع أمريكا. جنوب السودان is very weak. جنوب السودان بقى ما عنده مسؤولية لأنه يعني بقى عملوا زي كل أي وطن ويجيبوا يبدأ مكان ده بواحد برضه ما أعرف كونغولي ولا من وين قال يجيب جنوب السودان. ده نزل في المطار كيف؟ ده نزل في المطار جيبوا ده كيف؟ المفروض من يرجعوه خليه يرجعوا أمريكا ورجعوه وين؟ لكن المشكلة أنا لسه في مجرمين أكثر بيجيبوا في البلد ده. لأنه ده طيب السمرية بتاعنا وين الوطنية بتاعنا؟ وين العائلية بتاعنا؟ وين الهوية بتاعنا؟ معناه جماعة ده يعني شفت جماعة ده خطر صفر. جنوب السودان ده خطر صفر لأنه ما ممكن تجيب وثائق من أمريكا تيجي تجيبها في جنوب السودان هنا. ده كلام ما بقول هنا أننا كشعب جنوب السودان we are condemned. يعني مو strongest term. يعني لو في كلمات أكثر من strongest term كلام ده بشدة بأشكال عبارات ممكن لأنه جنوب السودان ده دولة عنده حدود عنده جغرافية بتاعه عنده وطنية بتاعه عنده شعبية بتاعه عنده هوية بتاعه وعنده رمز بتاعه. إذا كان شعب جنوب السودان ما كان عشان بيجيب وثائق جنوب السودان معناه ده بقول إنه الغيار بتاع الدولة. نعم. الناس برضو الجنوبيين في دول الخارج ده it is a kind of accommodation. مش بقدم حاجة. ده كلام ما مقبول. المفروض وزارة الخارجية بتاع جنوب السودان مسؤولين رسموا قوي جدا جماعة ما ينزلوا في جنوب السودان ما هم عارفين يجيبوا من الناس ما يجيب جنوب السودان يرفض الكلام ده. أمريكا تقدر تجيب رجال خلي يجيب رجال لكن معناه بنعرف إنه الدول بتاعنا ناس يتكلم قوي لكن كله سكت النيام هذا يقولوا وين يعني حكومة هذا أكلم ولا هتكون وين تكون منو. شكرا جزيلا.
شكرا. نعم زي أنا قاعد بناقش معكم مستمعين في كل محل. وزارة الخارجية خلاص قال 7 تنفار نزل في مطار جوبا واليا هم في داخل جنوب السودان. فبالضبط بمعنى شنو via our Facebook page we have Lino Aguer Bolakod is watching us from that Republic of Shirikat. that it's really shocking for us in such a situation where our citizens in prisons are not feeling comfortable because of congestion, and government is still forced to accept individuals from outside countries without reasonable notification. And he urged that our able ministry to really take a step and clarify this saga. Otherwise, thank you. Keep those messages coming. And then we have Diamond. He is wishing that all South Sudanese a happy independence. Malwatch is saying, I hope everything goes well. And then we have Kwan. He's saying, good news for this movement. Which movement exactly you did not specify right here. Mabior is saying, Yellow Eye Radio over there. Hope you are doing great. Happy Independence Day to you. Let's now have a quick commercial break. When we come back, we shall be giving you that chance on 0911022986. Still, do not hesitate, of course, to drop in your comment. That's via our Facebook page right here. As you have heard in a statement, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs has confirmed that 8 people have been deported from that U.S. To Juba on July 5th and were accepted by national authorities. So we are seeking your opinion. What's your thought on the exchange of the third country convict right here? More after this break.
The Ministry of Health is conducting a commemoration of African Vaccination Week with a new vaccine introduction of pneumonia vaccine, targeting all children aged between 6 to 14 weeks. Take your child to the nearest vaccination center during the African Vaccination Week or Big Catch-up campaign.
Good morning, Mama Alice.
Good morning, Mama Ladu. Where are you coming from this morning?
I had taken Ladu for pneumonia vaccination at the health center to protect my child against pneumonia and meningitis. He was also vaccinated with other routine immunization vaccines at no cost. Is baby Alice already vaccinated?
Yes, she was vaccinated last month. Does she need to be vaccinated again?
Yes, she needs to be vaccinated with at least 3 doses at 6, 10, and 14 weeks to be fully vaccinated, immunized, and protected against pneumonia.
Really? I just heard from afar that there will be a vaccination campaign during the African Vaccination Week, but I was not keen enough to get the details.
You know, pneumonia vaccine is effective in preventing pneumonia and deaths in infants and young children. This vaccine has just been introduced this year, 2025. A lot of children were not vaccinated. Some even travel without being vaccinated. I wouldn't want to see any child get pneumonia.
I didn't know that pneumonia is very serious, that it can cause meningitis and even death.
Yes. Pneumonia is a life-threatening disease caused by bacteria or viruses. The signs are cough, fever, chills, and shortness of breath, which may be accompanied by chest pain when breathing or coughing. Children who survive may experience long-term effects on lung function and increased risk of respiratory conditions like asthma.
Asthma or lung function complication? Oh, that sounds scary. How can I protect my child from this dangerous disease?
The only way for your child to be safe is when your child and all children in your neighborhood are vaccinated with pneumonia vaccine.
I will do that immediately. Where can I take my child for this vaccine? Hope it is not late.
No, you are not late. Pneumonia vaccine and all the other routine vaccines are available at all government health centers in your areas. Tell your neighbors with children between 6 to 14 weeks to be vaccinated.
I'm glad you told me. I will take my child immediately to the nearest health center for pneumonia vaccination.
Bring your child to the nearest health center and protect them from pneumonia and other vaccine-preventable diseases. This message is brought to you by the National Ministry of Health with support from WHO, UNICEF, and South Sudan Women in Medicine.
You are right where you deserve to be. Your eye on South Sudan.
The Sundown. For the news, views, opinion, debates, and discussions. Listen to Who is Who, talking about issues that affect our country and continent. Only on The Sundown, your eye on South Sudan.
Well, dear listener, welcome back from the commercial break. Let's wrap up this together. As on Monday, you have heard that the Ministry of Foreign Affairs have officially confirmed that 8 people or convicts have been deported from U.S. to South Sudan on July 5th and were accepted by national authorities. So we are seeking your thought on the exchange of these third country convict. 0911022986 Hi, radio.
Hello.
Aywa. Ustaz Kamal.
Hi. For example, under Nina, في إعداد كان secondary. بيدقوا كان طلع شهادة يمشي فورن هنا بتاعنا هنا embassy بتاعنا بيدقوا فوق كتير مرات كان مال دار يمشي في خرطوم أو في أي بلد embassy عليه ده بيدقوا فوق كتير embassy بتاع بلد اللي هو رانده embassy everywhere all over the world umanando department nazir hasa لما جابوه هنا without guidance جابوه ناس ما مفروض كان بيودي في embassy بتاعنا هناك في أمريكا بعرفوا إنت دوكمنت بتاعك وين جنسية باسبور ولا كان بتاع مدرسة بحينه كتن بيفاي كلام بتاع الجنسية كتن بتاع السفارة بتاعنا الجنوب مفروض يكون فيه ده كان بيتم الإجراءات بتوع هناك في embassy بتاعنا أمريكا because they have all the security department في أي حاجة في why direct without taking this الإجراءات مهرو يعمل إجراءات هناك يار دمونو شكرا.
And according to that, so Stas Kamal, the relevant authorities, they are supposed to follow some procedures before just or directly deporting the third city convict to our country. I read you. Yes.
Good evening.
Good evening, David Magok.
My brother, when we talk about this issue, we can blame 3 places. Number 1, embassy in Juba. Number 2, embassy in America of South Sudan. Number 3 is the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Because when the America was doing a screening, the embassy is informed. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs is well informed about this. And if they fail, if those people are brought to South Sudan, then the ambassador of America, who is now in South Sudan, should have to be informed and tell him that those who are brought now by American government are not South Sudanese. What do you think will be the alternative? And this is a procedure that people should have to do. Because you cannot bring some people from different countries and you just impose them to that country that they are your people. You know why people have identity? It is when the whole world should have to know these people belong to this country. So our government should not fear not to say anything. Because even though you are a small child and you know something right, you can tell that big person, that Mr. So-and-so, what you are doing is wrong. You can do this. And that one will not do anything. Telling the truth is better than saying without saying the truth. So the Bible says, say the truth and truth will set you free. So there is no need that our government can receive any criminal that being brought from any country and they say that America is a big boy of which you will not say the truth. Let our government tell them that bring the people of South Sudan, not the people from a different country. This one will not kill anyone. Otherwise, everybody in this world will die. Even though you are a superior in America and a smaller person in South Sudan, both of you will still die. Why not people to say the truth? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Last caller for now, iRadio. All right. David Magoka should be my last caller for the interest of time. Now, when we take a look at that our Facebook page, we have Noel Kurosuki saying what's happening between the U.S. and South Sudan is deeply concerning. This is not just about deporting criminals. This is about power, pressure, and control. How can a powerful nation force a smaller country to accept criminals who aren't even its a citizen? That's not partnership, that's exploitation, according to that Noel. This is exactly how modern imperialism works. It's no longer about military invasion. It's about that's political pressure, economic manipulation, and unfair deals. Discussed as diplomacy. Imperialism today wears a suit, but its goal is still the same: to weaken and control. South Sudan must think long term, not short term. Accepting foreign that's a criminal into our land is not a smart move. It's a betrayal of that's our dignity and threats to our stability. Dear listener, up to here we have come to the end of our conversation, and I've been your host, Madrama James. Thank you so much for sharing your experience with us this evening.